There is a clear and present problem in America.
It's impossible to ignore.
You've heard about this.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
Dead after being arrested by Minneapolis police.
Protests against police brutality and systemic racism.
But this isn't anything new. It's a fight that's been happening for centuries, even before many Americans' ancestors even got here. There's been much progress.
The abolition of slavery.
The establishment of the NAACP. African Americans fighting in World War II.
Jackie Robinson playing baseball.
The Civil Rights Act.
Our first black president.
Just because there has been progress made does not mean that this fight is over. Because that's what it's been, a fight.
A struggle every step of the way.
A struggle that has continued.
But you may ask, how can this fight for equality still be happening if, under the eyes of the law, everyone is equal?
While on paper, everything seems right, but in practice, it's actually not. That's because our nation was founded on the racist ideals of the past. It's called systemic racism. White superiority is seen in social and political practices, customs, and laws.
The phrase systemic or institutionalized racism is often wrongly interpreted to be an accusation where anyone and everyone in the system is racist. This differs from systematic racism. Systematic racism is, moreover, commonly seen in racist comments, microaggressions, and more.
The fact is, systemic racism means almost the opposite. It means that we have these institutions and systems that are creating contrasting outcomes regardless of the intentions of those who work within them. That's why black unemployment has been twice as high as white unemployment in the last 60 years, and why the median net worth for a white family is $134,000, but the median net worth for a Hispanic family is just $14,000, and for a black family, only $11,000. There are countless examples of systemic or institutionalized racism, whether it's drug arrests, mass incarceration, or housing and job discrimination. But there is no better example of systemic racism than in the police.
The modern criminal justice system was built to keep black people in their place. In the early parts of the 20th century, in many places in the country, it was law enforcement's primary focus, but that's not much of a surprise.
This is where the topic of defunding the police comes in. Now, I know this may be an intimidating phrase, but it's not as scary as it seems. There's a lot of funding that goes into police departments, but defunding the police is about relocating that money into underfunded programs, such as education, mental health resources, and police training, and so much more.
The Declaration of Independence states that all men are created equal, endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that whenever any form of government is destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and institute a new government. Black Lives Matter protesters have a right to speak out against the oppressive forms of government, yet they are still penalized and assaulted through the use of rubber bullets, tear gas, and brutal force just for doing so.
If you hear the phrase white privilege, don't scoff at it. It doesn't insinuate that just because you're white, that you have benefits or perks. All it's saying is that you are treated the way everyone should be treated. Yes, everyone has struggles, but millions of people are struggling solely based on the color of their skin.
Saying the words Black Lives Matter is not controversial. To those whose gut response is all lives matter, well, you're right. But Black Lives Matter because all lives matter. But all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. You can disagree with the protests. You can disagree with the rioting or the looting. You can be a conservative or a liberal. You could be old or young, or black or white or anything in between. But this is a fight for justice, a fight for equality. Because until we're all equal, none of us are.